Hey guys, welcome to my June 14th DVD update, where I talk about all the DVDs and Blu-rays I've gotten over the last 3.5 weeks or so. Yeah, it's been close to 3, might be 4 at the moment, I'm not exactly sure. I wanted to wait to do this DVD update so I had everything. And stay tuned after this video to find out why the backgrounds have been different, and why there's going to be a delay in the DVD updates coming up this summer. Also, check out the link under this video if you get a chance to find out how you can help out the film Zombie Babies, which I'm acting in this summer, and Ruby LaRocca, who was in the film The Lost, and a couple other films I reviewed. She was in Flesh of the Beast, and a lot of the Seduction Cinema films is going to be co-starring in that film as well. Anyway, though, check out that link and find out how you can help the film. Also, one of the options is you can pre-order the film. So basically, I think it's like $15 or something. You have the movie. So basically, you get the movie before anybody else, before distribution or anything. Anyway, though, so check that out. And now on to all the DVDs and Blu-rays I've gotten. There's a lot. I tried to wait. I'm not even sure how many, but there's a lot. But the first one I got is Family Matters. And yes, Family Matters is finally out on DVD. I've talked about this quite a bit. And I talked about in many updates like how I was hoping this would come out when I would go to horror conventions and they had those bootleg tables, and I would always ask them if they have this, and they'd always give me these looks like, no, we don't have that. Like, they never seemed interested in putting that out. They put out every other show, but never Family Matters. I think with Family Matters, there are people that like it. There's like no in between. Either you like it or you don't like it. I always loved it. And the thing that was funny about this show was, when the first show first started, in like the first 8 episodes, Steve Urkel was no idea. He wasn't even a fart in the wind. But then there was an episode when Carl Winslow, the father in the show, was trying to help Laura out with getting a date. And one of the dates that he finds is this nerdish guy, Steve Urkel. And it turns out Laura hated the guy and everything, and he was the nerd in the school that no one liked. But she ends up getting set up with him. And he was such a hit, they brought him into the show. So right after the episode that he was in, he started being in everything. And this season, in this first season, he was in it sporadically. He was in it, but he wasn't like the main character. Near the end of the show, it became all about Steve Urkel and his inventions, and he was basically the main person, like totally him, to the point where it could have been called The Urkel Show. And I think I heard them talking about trying to do that at some point. But anyway, though, the thing with this is, it's like where if you don't get this season, the other ones won't come out. Because there's been so many shows where they put out the season 1, like Fantasy Island, and Perfect Strangers, and like they didn't sell that well, so they didn't put them out. So basically, if you want them to continue putting these shows out, you have got to get this. There's no like, I'm going to wait. If you do, that's the problem. That's why I bought it right away, and that's why I'm really talking it up, because I really hope everybody buys this, so they keep putting them out. Because the show, in my opinion, got better and better. The next one is Ghostwriter Season 1. And if they put out Season 2, that's another situation. They might... I don't know, though. This show, I remember it was a PBS show, and I don't remember if I always remember like coming home from school in like the 1st or 2nd grade watching this. I think that would probably be when it was, maybe the 1st grade. And I remember it was like basically like 4 episodes would equal a story, so it's basically like a movie. So there was basically all mini movies, and one of them was about like a store that got burned down, and there was a whole bunch of different ones. I remember there was a lot of celebrity cameos in it too. And like I think Spike Lee directed an episode or 2, and trying to remember, I think Samuel Jackson was in some of them. But this is definitely cool. Like, it's a childhood thing. Like, if you didn't grow up with it, you might not be something you're interested in. But it's real 90s too. Like, it's totally like that, early 90s clothing style, real bright, real crazy, like, yikes pencils and all that stuff. I don't know, I always liked it. I haven't even got to look back at this. But I remember I had like 3 or 4 of the tapes, and I watched them all the time. And the next one I got, this one, I think I saw the bad trailer, like the cheesy trailer they made to get money to make this. And I think that's the first thing I saw of this. And it's the 41-year-old virgin who knocked up Sarah Marshall and felt super bad about it. And it's a new spoof, and it's all spoofing all the Judd Apatow films, like Funny People, 40-Year-old Virgin, all that. And I watched this with MJ, and this is probably one of the least funny of all these spoofs. It kind of makes like Date Movie look like Scary Movie 1 and 2. I mean, it's shot well, it looks okay, very low budget, but I don't know. It's like the two main actors in it were in a lot of other things. I recognize them. They were alright. The guy they got to play Jonah Hill really does look like Jonah Hill in Superbad. Not like Jonah Hill all the time, but from far back he really does look like him. And I think they found him through the internet because he did like a Jonah Hill spoof or something. And like the McLovin guy was alright. It's basically like spoofing that, and it's okay. It's not really worth buying. It's interesting though. The next one I got at Walmart called Cold Storage. The thing that's funny about the Walmarts is, and I'm sure you've noticed this, some of the Walmarts carry the weirder horror films and the obscure stuff. Some of them don't. And it doesn't even have anything to do if it's the super ones, because like the bigger ones half the time don't have these. Half the times the smaller ones carry these, which is very weird. How the smaller Walmarts get all the weird ones and the big ones, it's very strange. But this one, it just all of a sudden came out. I hadn't heard much about it, and it's basically about this guy who lives in this house. Oh, I'm explaining this very strange. This woman's going to she's like an actress, and she's driving all this way to be in this play. She ends up in this accident and dies. And this crazy guy brings the woman back into his house, and he sees something in this woman that reminds him of this old woman that used to take care of him and his like sick mother. And he becomes obsessed with this dead woman that he doesn't see as dead. And he's like buying her clothes and taking her out around the town, driving around. And then it's the boyfriend trying to find the missing girlfriend. It's very, very cool. And the main guy who played the crazy person in it, I think his name is, I don't know his name, but he did really, really, really good. This is definitely worth checking out. It has kind of that misery kind of feel to it. I don't know, low budget, but I really like this. Next one I got sent from the guys at Asylum, and it's Mega Piranha. And I have only seen very few of the Asylum movies. I think I saw the Freak Show one, and I think I saw a couple other ones. I don't know all the ones I've seen, but this one is fun. I liked it because it had Barry Williams. That was the main thing I was interested in, was the fact that they got Barry Williams from the Brady Bunch to come back. And I think this is like the first movie he's done, or first like anything he's done since, as I recall, like the Brady Bunch 1 remake movie. The movie of it. And I thought he did really good. Tiffany, on the other hand, did not do so good. Like, some of her acting was just like this real like amateur. I don't know how to explain it, but it was almost like she was just trying to collect a check, and like I don't know how she didn't get. I don't know how she didn't get fired. I mean, she just did not do very good. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they told her to act that way. I don't know. It's worth watching. I liked it though. They can do a really good job with a little bit of money. And, and the CGI is made to be silly. It's made to be like the Piranha 3D remake. As a movie, though, everything's very well done. And, it's just, Tiffany was a very weak point to the film. And I'm a fan of Tiffany, but I don't think acting is, she should have just done music for it or something. I don't know. And the next one I got is The Dead Hate the Living. And I like this a lot better than The Hills Run Red, his other film. The Hills Run Red, I did not love that movie. But this is The Dead Hate the Living. I think Full Moon produces. It's one of the last things I think they did before they stopped making films, and now they're back again making films. And basically, though, this was about a group of college kids trying to make their first movie, and they're shooting it at this insane asylum without permission, without permits and everything. And the movie starts with this guy getting killed by a zombie, and you find out that he was doing experiments on his wife to try and bring her back to life or something like that. And then like something with this door, and it's this doorway. It's very hard to explain, but basically these kids end up bringing back all the zombies in the nut house. And the one guy in this is great. He's the really tall guy who passed away a while back, who was in The Devil's Rejects and Big Fish. I got to meet him maybe a week before he died at Comic-Con. He was a really cool guy, and I really wish I got his autograph and got to talk to him more there, but I could tell he wasn't doing well, but he's really cool in this. And that's the one thing that really was good about this, was the makeup effects. The next one I got this for like $6.99. I've been wanting to watch this one for a long time, and I saw like a little bit of it on TV and was like, what the hell is this movie with Daniel Stern in space? And And I'm like, I should know what this is, and I kept thinking, is this The Abyss? Because in the 80s, they made so many of these in-space movies. I mean, I can't even imagine how many of these things. And this one, though, is not in space. Why am I saying it's in space? It's underwater. That's why I'm confusing with The Abyss. Yes, it's underwater. The Life Force, which I didn't watch yet, is in space. This is underwater. It's about this underwater drill team that ends up letting this monster out, and then the monster starts, like, I think it's like it can clone with people, like it, because like it's in the vodka and stuff. It's very hard to explain. Daniel Stern is very cool in it. It was shot, I think, like right before he did Home Alone, so he totally has that total Home Alone look at that point. The same haircut, same exact, heaviness, because now he's fat, but the same everything. You could tell it was like right before Home Alone. Definitely worth watching. It also has Burnt Offerings, which I have to watch still, and Life Force, which I have to watch too, but the trailer looked good, and it's Tobe Hooper. The next one I got at like a Mega Media Exchange, and it's a trade-in DVD, CD store and stuff, and they have like a sale, like 30% off everything. I think they bought too much stuff. They're trying to get rid of everything to make room for more stuff and to sell stuff, make some kind of profit. Because I think they've periods of time they buy too much, then they get yelled at about it, and they put a sign on the door, we are no longer taking trade-ins at all. And this one I got is The Coroner. And I watched this with MJ too. And this I gotta try and remember. It was this crazy, that's the problem is I watched some of these so long ago, I totally forgot the whole plot of them. I know it was this crazy guy that kind of reminded me of myself, like he had a similar look to me. A little bit looked like my dad did when he was younger. It's hard to explain. But he was this crazy doctor that was like, he like kidnapped this woman, the woman got free, and then he was denying that he kidnapped her, and then there's like the woman's going after him and stuff. It's very, very cheesy, but really cool music and really fun. The one thing that's kind of funny though is they use footage in the opening when the girl was in the nut house going like freaking out. They use clips from one of the Slumber Party Massacre films, which is weird. I don't know if they were trying to make it like, I don't know, it was kind of weird. And the next one I got at Kmart for like $4, and they call her Mustang Sally. Sally. And it's E.G. Daily starring in Mustang Sally's House of Horrors. And with this title and E.G. Daily, how could you not get it? I mean, look at this picture in the front and like this weird thing on the back. And I think she did this right before Devil's Rejects, I think. And this is, I mean, I've always been a fan of E.G. Daily. E.G. Daily is the voice of Tommy Pickles, but was in Dutch. And, of course, she's Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, who I always think of her as. And this is about, like, a group of these, like, I think late high school, early college kids that are going to a whorehouse because they hear about it. And it ends up it's Mustang Sallys, and all the women there's some kind of thing they're all about there to kill the people. It's very strange. And E.G. Daily comes back and sings a true 80s song during the end credits. I mean, true 80s. And like, it was too bad they didn't use it for the opening credits, but the 80s song made this movie, and it was a silly, shitty, shits and giggles movie. Oops. But I liked it. And the next one I got, I don't have a cover for it. It was a screener I got sent, and it's Terror Inside, starring Corey Feldman and Tanya Mame. I don't want to show the number, but I'm going to hold this. I don't want to show the company's number. But I just watched this one last night. I'm not showing it. Yeah, and this is coming out to DVD. I think today it's coming out on official DVD. I got the screener of this. And this was actually really cool. Corey Feldman, of course, who doesn't ever age. And like, it's just so funny watching him. I mean, you could take him out like he came out right out of the Goonies. He has the same expression, the same face. It's just so funny with him. He's like one of the few actors that just does not age at all. And basically it's about a guy who's drilling for like going down like hundreds of feet into the ground, collecting samples of mud. And there's something on the mud, that this slime stuff, that it spreads all around in the town, and everybody who touches it or gets in contact with it ends up getting this experience where pain is pleasure and everything gets switched around. So people in the town are like cutting themselves and like getting tattoos, and basically they're getting off on pain. And it's a very interesting movie, very different. Corey Feldman was really good in it. I don't know, it's definitely one to check out. Next one I got and I cannot remember all the stories in this. I know there was the one with the zombies I liked, and there was one with this thing in the car that was like telling people what to do. I wish I could remember all the details of this. But it's Nightmare Alley, which is coming out. It's out for pre-order now on Amazon, and it's like an anthology horror film. And it was really cool, though. I really like this one. I just wish I could remember all the details about it. I know the one was like this fat guy story I liked. I don't know. I wish I could remember more. I totally blanked on it when I was trying to think back on these. That's the problem, is when I watch too many of these things, I forget all the details I want to say. But this is definitely one to check out, though. If you want to see a different anthology kind of film that's fun and like has like a Tales from the Crypt kind of goosebumps kind of vibe to it, this is definitely to check out, though. And this one, I had looked at this cover in that trade-in store for like 4 or 5 years, ever since the place opened. And the place has changed its name like 6 times. It was like Pre-Played, Games, what was it? Planet Replay, Mega Media, a different one, Mega Media something. Mega Media Games. I mean, they changed this thing again and again. I guess it kept getting bought out. But this DVD was in there from the beginning. And it's called Sinner's Blood. And I always thought it looked like it was like somebody made it. I was like, I just gotta get this thing. And it's like a really bad copy. It froze in the player. It didn't work at all. Oh, what a butt. I mean, it did not play. The next one I got is my friend David Sterling's new movie, which just came out, which is a spoof of the Sex and the City show, only with vampires. And it's Vamps and the City. And this is definitely a cool, funny, like, vampire spoof. And this just came out. Definitely pick this one up, though. The next one, and yeah, I remember I talked about this before, wondering if they were going to put this out, because Joe wasn't a very popular character. And they put out Three Stooges Collection Volume 8, 1955 to 1959, and it features Joe. And I had only ever seen like 1 or 2 of the shorts with Joe, who came right after Shemp died. They brought in Joe. And I think I like Joe. I mean, he reminds me a little bit of like the Don character I did, like kind of like a silly... It's hard to explain exactly the character, but you can tell how Curly Joe came about, because Curly Joe was very much like Joe. And I think what happened was Joe left... I don't know if they got along or something, but then they came back after this. After they stopped making the shorts because Columbia stopped producing them. They came back with the films, I think 5 or 6 years later, with Curly Joe, and I don't know how it came about finding him. I don't know that whole story of it, but these are fun. I've always liked the Three Stooges. They're really fun, and you know, it's either you like them or you don't. But I know a lot of people didn't like the later ones. I always think Curly was the best. But, I don't know, Joe really isn't that bad. You know, he's not the best. It's not exactly the same with him, because, like, Shemp really fit in well with them. He's a little different. He's a little sillier. It's hard to explain, but he is good, though. The next one I had to get this, mainly because of the one show on it. And it's Saturday morning cartoons from the 80s. And I don't remember these as well as these specific ones that well. I think that most of them were earlier 80s. Like, I remember like the Popples and the Care Bears and certain ones better. But this had Flintstone Kids on it, which I basically got it just for that, because there's been nothing with them at all put out. And that one I personally like more than the Flintstones, which is, I know is weird. I think it's because I grew up watching that. The other one that's totally forgotten about is the Potato Head Kids. Like, some of those 80s ones are just so forgotten. And the next one I got is Kirbys Enthusiasm, the complete 7th season. And if you know me, you know that I really love this show. And this one has the Seinfeld reunion. Well, he's basically trying to put on this reunion with all these problems going on. And it's a, you know, improvised show, all improvised or just an outline, which I love improvising myself. Definitely, though, check this out. Like, if you haven't seen the other seasons, though, don't just go into it getting this season. This is one of those shows where you really need to watch from the very beginning to really pick up on everything, because there's certain characters that were in like season 1 and 2 that come back. It just makes it's easier to understand the show. Like, a lot of people have said to me they didn't like it because they've just started watching from, you know, season 5 or 6. You really have to watch from the very beginning to get it. And the next one I got is Mythbusters Collection 5. And I got this, I think this was used cheaper somewhere. I don't remember exactly. But, I don't know, I like watching that. They always go to this abandoned town. It was like a military base. I'm thinking, I'd love to walk around that weird town. And a lot of, I think they filmed that show, The Colony, in there. That reality show. But, this is them always exploring myths. And I remember hearing all that stuff about how the two don't get along and they have all kinds of problems and everything. Which, who knows? And the next one I got, which I just found this one in Target. I was like, this looks interesting. And I've been trying to watch some more shows and stuff lately. And I'll explain, too, why I haven't been able to watch a lot of my older stuff. Because it's in boxes. But I'll explain that in a minute. Well, I've still got all the Blu-rays to go through. But I got American Pickers, which I like this. And it's not about guys picking their nose. It's about guys that go around to people's houses and buy stuff that they can, for cheap, that they can resell. So it's these two guys going around in this van, like, sometimes they have scheduled appointments with people. Sometimes they just go around and go, wow, they've got a lot of cars there. Let's stop. So then they knock on their door and go, can we come in? They're like, all right. So then they all walk around with the people and they go, oh, this is a great can of oil. Can we buy this? Or some people are like, I'm too attached to that. I can't sell it. Because there's a lot of people here, they go and see are true hoarders that hoard like there's no tomorrow, and they can't get rid of even like a penny. It's like that. But they go in these houses. I don't know. I really like this. Season 2 just started, and I know I watch weird shows like this, but I like them. But then they buy like an oil can for like $10, end up selling it for like $150. Things like that. I don't know. It's cool though. You have to watch it to get it. And the next one I got are some like 4-packs that were cheaper. I think for $4 or $5. I got this one, which has the Karkin, Howling, 4, Night Shadow, and Raging Shark starring Corin Nemec. And the Substitute pack, which I've never seen any of these. The one with the Undead Express, Vampire Wars, Nada, and the Wishapple Vampire. And then I got this one that I've never watched these, and I don't know how I've never seen these. And it has Teen Witch and The Heavenly Kid, which I think I have seen some of years ago. Now on to all the Blu-rays. There's pretty many Blu-rays this time. The first one I got at the store too. And this one I didn't even know came to Blu-ray. It says on the date 2005. I think this might have been one of the first Blu-rays. I don't think Blu-ray started then though, which is weird. It might have been more like, I don't know. But it's Bubble, which is, in my opinion, Steven Soderbergh's best movie. Well, it's at least my favorite from what I've seen of his stuff. And it's basically shot with no actors at all. Everybody was basically people from the actual town that he found. I mean, everybody is from the town. There's not one actor. And what's so funny is these non-actors did better than some big-time actors. I mean, they were so sincere and so real in this movie. It's hard to explain how... It's like if you want to study acting, watch this. Even though you're watching non-actors. It's basically about... He basically tailored the parts, though, around these people so they could kind of be themselves, but it just became so real. But it's about these people working in a doll factory and all these problems with it, and this woman who's really strange, and it's hard, really difficult to explain, but it's absolutely amazing. It's one of these movies, if you haven't seen it, look at the trailer online, which doesn't show much, but you just got to watch this one. And the next one I talked about in the last update that I was going to show in this one and mention a bit, and it's Mel Streep, Steve Martin, and Alec Baldwin, and It's Complicated. It's basically Mel Streep and Alec Baldwin's character were married once and then like got divorced, and this is like 20 years later or something. They start to seeing each other again after Alec Baldwin's married to somebody else, and they start sleeping together again, and it becomes a huge ordeal. And then Mel Streep starts seeing Steve Martin, and it becomes this huge triangle of like lies and covering things up and problems. I don't know though, I really like this. This is definitely a fun movie to watch. Check out. The next one, now this one is really good. It stars the guy, and I kept thinking, what do I know this guy from? Then I thought, The Crying Game. And it's Mina Savarni and Stephen Rea in Stuck. And basically, Mina Savarni's character is ER nurse, and then she's getting promoted, and she has to be into work Saturday morning and early and everything because she doesn't want to lose out on this thing. Well, she's up for a promotion, and she's using drugs the night before and partying at the bar and everything. She ends up hitting this Stephen Reyes character who was just kicked out of his house and he became homeless. So he ends up getting hit, and he gets stuck in the car, basically like a deer. Like his face is through the car, and he can't get out. So Mina Savarni doesn't tell anybody, leaves him like dying basically in his car. In her car in the garage. It's amazing. It's Stuart Gordon directed this, who did Reanimator and a number of really cool things. It's absolutely amazing, and the end is amazing. Definitely watch this. The next one is one I've heard about, and I finally watched it. People have told me about this one for years to watch it. It's Behind the Mask, and it's basically a documentary mixed with a real movie footage. It's kind of weird how they did it. It's basically a crew following around a serial killer. And it's basically all through interviews, and then when the serial killer ends up killing somebody, it's like goes right from that to actual produced video footage, like an actual movie. It's kind of weird. So it goes from that, then all like the scenes with the woman from the Poltergeist. It's weird. It's good though. The next one I got is I like watching all these Disney things. Like Disney parks. One thing, I don't think I've mentioned this a lot, but as a kid, and even up until like 5 years ago, I think from age 6 to 17 or 18, we went to Disney World every single summer. So I just watch this Disney stuff because I don't know, I'm always like see these secrets behind things too. And it's 3 HD documentaries, which, I've never seen the Disney parks in HD, although I've seen them in real life. I haven't seen them in the HD styles. And I learned a couple things. But when I think of Disney, though, my favorite thing is something that no one speaks of, and it's the Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow ride, which I think is still at Disney World, but no one really likes it because it's become so dated. The next one I got is I think this just came out, and Troma sent this, and it's Romeo and Juliet, and directed by Lloyd Kaufman, and James Gunn and Lloyd Kaufman both wrote this. James Gunn went on, I believe, to write Dawn of the Dead and a number of things, and this is basically their version of Romeo and Juliet, done the Troma style. It also features a brand new introduction with Lloyd and James Gunn, a number of other people in it. I don't know, I like these new introductions they're doing. It also includes the introduction from the Laserdisc with Joe Fleisinger, which is great. It's him and drag singing. It's so funny. The next one I got is The Road, and I don't remember if I did a DVD, did a Around the Town review of this one or not. It's basically, though, the end of the world, and it's Viggo Mortensen and his son trying to stay alive, and there's if you compare this to I Am Legend and stuff, it's this is so much better. And same with Book of Eli. This is far better than Book of Eli, and I feel like this movie, they definitely should have gotten up for Best Picture. It was so good. The next one I got, I didn't get to rewatch this one. I don't hardly remember it, but it's City of the Living Dead. I got a lot of these ones from a lot cheaper places. I also got Telltale, which is our interpretation of the Edgar Allan Poe story, and this is basically a guy who gets the heart. He has a heart transplant. He gets the heart of a victim of murder. It was a guy that was murdered. So he's when he gets around certain people, he gets basically his heart starts pounding like crazy, and it's very cool. And the last one I got is Kevin Costner in one of his first horror movies. He hasn't done too many. I don't think he really has done any. It's not that many. This is pretty much his first one. Dragonfly was kind of horror. This is from the director, though, of REC, I believe. Yeah, Rec, I'm pretty sure. And it's Kevin Costner and the new daughter, and it's him and his family all move into this small country home, middle of nowhere, and there's this strange mound in the front of the house, in the back of the house, and the daughter's out there hanging out in there, and reading books in there, and things start to happen. The daughter starts to change, and her personality becomes different. Weird things start happening around the house. They find these weird dolls, and she basically like starts sleepwalking, and it's a very, very creepy movie. The ending is, and it's for a PG-13 one. This was pretty creepy. I don't know. I like this one. It was $25 or something though, and the thing is, the problem with these Anchor Bay movies is I see them on sale like 3 months later, not even, for like $6.99. So I would wait, but I don't know. I really liked it though, but I think it's going to end up being cheaper. But that was all the DVDs and Blu-rays, and I think this was like close to 30 minutes. But now I'm going to talk to you about why the background's different and everything. Basically, I've been in the middle since mid-April of planning this house for a move. We've had people coming in here looking at the house, and the realtor was like, you have to do this, you have to stage these rooms. So that's why the backgrounds have been different. Basically though, we're moving mid-July. But the thing is, I won't be going out there until probably the mid-August, because I have film projects that I'm doing, and I'm pretty much going to stay with MJ while I finish them. So there's pretty much no way I'm going to be able to do any DVD updates. I'm probably not even going to be able to buy anything. I'm probably just going to have to order stuff and send them to the new house, because there's a lot of things coming out this summer. So there probably won't be a new DVD update till like late August to mid-August, unless anything changed or anything. But I just want to let all of you guys know that I'm not stopping. Don't worry, when I do move, I'm going to continue doing all the same things. I'll do around the towns or have other people in them, everything. And when we do leave mid-August, MJ is coming with me. We're going to do an around the town movie along the whole journey, like basically the Wally World journey, National Lampoon's journey, along the whole way. So it's probably going to be like an hour-and-a-half movie that we're going to shoot along the whole way. But that's pretty much what's going on, and that's why things are going to be delayed, and that's why the backgrounds have changed, because this is not where I normally do the DVDs. This is where all the shelves for the toys was. I'm going to get up and show around the room and everything. This is going to be like a 35, 40-minute video. But I just want to let you guys know, don't worry, I would never stop doing these DVD updates, and they're going to continue, but I'm just so delayed with the, in the next week I go to California, we start looking at houses then, and get the house locked down, because this house is already sold. So we've got to get the house and everything, get it all squared away. But I'm going to show you now around the house, and like I said though, don't worry, the DVD updates will continue. There's just no way at all I can shoot anything. There will be like on-set vlogs I do, which I have to wait to probably put most of them up, but they will be also, I can also do some webcam stuff though. So there will be videos up though during that time. So don't worry. And the breaks that I do have, I'll try and put some things up too. But most of the computers will be away and everything. But I am very excited though. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. Go out there, and there's definitely more film acting opportunities out there as well. And I know I'll be back on the East Coast though, visiting MJ, doing more work out here too. It's basically just time for a change. But now I'm going to go and show you around basically the way the basement looks now. Okay, so that's where I just was. Now we're going to back up, and I'm going to show you, hopefully this focuses, I'm going to show you basically what the basement looks like from this way. The TV's still here. Right here used to be the other TV with the game systems. Right here was always a chair, the computer. Right here was that bigger table that used to be here. And of course all the posters are away, packed away. Back there was all the toys, and the DVDs were there. Here's where the DVD shelves were. And here's where I would always do the DVD updates from, right in this exact spot here. I did some of them right here. And but basically, don't worry though, all the DVDs are still here. They're all packed up in here, in all these boxes. Of course, these are not all DVDs, but a good number of them are. There's a lot of DVDs here, but it's all packed away. I didn't really get rid of much. I sold some total, crap DVDs. But here's some more DVDs that have been like for the last few months. Here's some of the ones that I wanted to show in this update, but I didn't get to watch. But I really wanted to show them. Here's more that I really want to show that I haven't gotten to watch and show yet. There's a bunch of stuff in there still. And I guess that there's where I keep the cameras and stuff now. But basically, July 23rd, all this house is totally going to be cleared. At that point, I'm going to stay with MJ for a little while in order to finish the Witch's Brew movie and a movie I'm doing in Tennessee. But anyway, though, just want to let you know, don't worry, the DVD episodes will continue when I get moved into the new location, and I'm going to be doing. I have tons, since it's going to be a whole new area. There's going to be so much new stuff to film, and so many guests I'm going to be bringing in and everything. So don't worry, things are not done, and this channel will continue to grow. And thanks again for everyone for watching, for subscribing, for all these years, and I'll see you guys later.